Now we'll have the views from Japan. Mr. Kushimoto. Request to be a little brief in the sense that we've got one or two more speakers.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Netaji's danda is out, huh?
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yosuke Kusumoto of Kusumoto Chemicals. It's my first time making the presentation in this event, and it's an honor to do it in front of such many people of the industries. So my presentation today covers how Japan looks like, and also the Japanese market trend of Castor and its derivatives, and the unique applications which Castor derivatives is utilized in Japanese market. How Japan looks like, I compare Japan with India for your better understanding. So India, you have very unique, pyramid shape demography. You have a lot of young people, but our shape is quite different. We are aged society. A third of our population is 65 years old, and our population itself is 10 times smaller than India. But our people live long. Median age, average lifespan for female is almost 90 years, and the same for men is above 80, while it's still around 70 for India. So if you want to live longer, you may come to Japan. So everything here, red is Japan, blue for India. I don't touch one by one, but you can see the land area, also Japan is 10 times smaller. And workforce population, of course, the population is small, so 10 times smaller. But our GDP is still bigger. We are the fourth biggest GDP in the world after US and China and Germany. And so we compare the currency of Japanese currency, Japanese yen, and Indian rupee against USD. So actually, both JPY and Indian rupee became weaker against USD for 30 to 40% over 10 years. But the case of Indian rupee, it's gradual. So over 10 years, gradually USD is becoming stronger. But for the case of Japanese yen, it was fluctuating up to before COVID. But after 2021, Japanese yen became weaker against USD for almost 40% in 2 to 3 years. So this was a big change. And we are the country importing many things, including natural resources. So this gives a big impact to our industry, also people's life. And, as I said, our population is shrinking already, and our average birth rate is 1.2%, or only 1.2. And I personally have 3 kids, so I'm contributing to the country, but it's not enough. And, but we are a homogeneous society, and we are island. But now the government is changing policy. We started to letting in some foreign workers. And actually that's what we need to, because we need to still grow our economy, but in reality we are losing working force. So that's the direction we are moving to. So from here, I'm gonna go over the market trend of castor oil and its derivatives. And the data here are given by the government data, which is publicly available. So the amount of castor oil we import is very stable. It's been always 17 to 18,000 metric ton for past 10 years. Exception is 2020. As you know, this is a year of COVID. So this year, the number was low. But last year, I would say it's still within the range. But compared with past 2 years, it was a bit weak. And on the right side, I have a unit price. This is simply calculated by the monetary amount in the middle by the quantity on the left. So as you can see, the price gap is huge in Japanese yen. And I also do it Japanese yen intentionally because there was a huge fluctuation of currency in past 3 years. And even within 1 year, there was a huge fluctuation, so it was not easy to calculate. Also, if I calculate precisely, I end up having similar price as FOB Kandra, so I left it as a CIF Japanese price. So you can see the 2020, the price went down as low as 137, but went up to like 250, almost double in 2022, because, as you know, the price went up a lot. Castor price went up a lot 2022, but also our currency became very weak. So this was a very challenging moment for the industry. And for HCO, I have a number. So it's interesting because for HCO, we import from Thailand and India. And almost like 20% are from Thailand. And the number of HCO actually dropped quite drastically last year. I would say because this is due to the economical reason for the industry which HCO is utilized. And I'm very much curious to see how the number goes in 2024. I don't really expect further drop of that number, but let's see how it goes in 2024. Another interesting thing here, that there is a certain price gap between the one from India and the one from Thailand. But some people prefer to use one from Thailand with paying extra premium cost. For the sebacic acid, we import majority amount from China. That's another interesting thing. And price-wise, also the one from China is less expensive. And the amount is stable, and because price of sebacic acid itself is expensive, this is very big market for us. And because we expect biopolyol market, bioplastic market will grow further, we expect demand of sebacic acid in domestic market will continue to grow. The next is 12-HSA and ricinoleic acid and others. So all of them fall into same HS code, so I was not able to divide one by one, so this comes all together. And for those things, we also import from Thailand and India. And because this is a mixed thing, so the price is not really meaningful. But you see the similar trend. 2023 isn't as strong as past 2 years. So to combine the oil itself and derivatives, we are the countries importing around the amount of 40,000 metric tons, and the sales amount of around 15 billion Japanese yen, which is equivalent to $100 million at the current exchange rate. The next, I briefly touch the applications which Castor is utilized. The first one is biopolyol for urethane, by the Mitsui Chemical. They use it for the seat of automotive. And some use it for shoe plate of shoes, or bezel of watch, or the resins, which common applications, or cloth or glass frame. Or another interesting application could be a teeth brush. And the government requests hotels to use teeth brush which is made by natural resources. So if you stay in a hotel in Japan or wherever in Japan, you find the teeth brush in the room is made by some bio resources, could be Castor. And the data here are publicly available, but we collaborated with our domestic magazine called Fats and Oil to collect data. So this page is for special thanks for the magazine. And because this is our first time presenting this in this event, so let me very briefly introduce ourselves. So we are the company located in Tokyo, Japan, of history of 98 years. This is family-owned company, and I'm fourth generation. We have 300 people and turnover of around $235 million. We have three main business. The first one is we are the manufacturer of additives for the application of coatings, adhesive, and sealant, and so on. And for this business, we are the downstream user of Castor derivatives. We have a chemical distribution business, and for domestic market, also international to domestic, international. For this business unit, we are the we are dealing Castor derivatives. And we have different division called ITAC division. There we make some testing equipment for like it's a chamber to test some different temperature or humidity. And we also run a testing center. For our own production, we have 20 distributors around the world to export to almost every continent. And we have 3 factories in Japan. We have a production in China and India here, and Thailand. And we have a sales office across the country of Japan, and we have a production nearby Tokyo, also a laboratory nearby Tokyo. And this is a laboratory, also the plants in Japan. And those are testing facilities. The customers can outsource testing of their equipment in our facility. That's all. I hope this presentation helped you in some ways. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kusumoto. The key takeaway seems to be that Japanese demand is going to remain relatively stable, right? And secondly, I have one suggestion. Each country exports what is surplus in that country. So my suggestion would be, Japan has too much money, export to India, and we have too many people, we'll export to you. So your average age will also come down. Thank you very much.